Warm greetings to the International Peace Committee. I'm Jeffrey Sachs. I'm speaking to you today from Beijing. I know that the International Peace Committee has worked very hard over the years to promote peace and dialogue with China. What a vital effort, and ever more vital in these difficult times that we are living. I know also that the International Peace Committee is unrelenting in your search for solutions to the war in Ukraine and to the rising global tensions more generally. Since 1993, since the founding of the International Peace Committee, and let me pay special tribute to Dr. Peter Kozlovsky for founding this remarkable effort and being such an indefatigable leader and advocate for peace. I know that you've been working very hard now for these 30 years to build a common European home with the common security. That was our shared vision. That was my inspiration for trying to lend a hand to the economic reforms in the region and to advise actually President Gorbachev and President Yeltsin and President Kuchma of Ukraine in the early days of 1992 and 1993. I'm afraid that the forces of division really overcame those of us who wanted that common European home. I saw in the United States how many people subscribed to America as the sole superpower, America that can do what it wants, America that can enlarge its military alliance as it wants, rather than understanding that we had, and I don't know if we still have it, but we must try to keep it, that unbelievable opportunity to build really a common European home and a world of peace, not a world of hegemony. Well, now we have a hot war that, in my understanding, my view, started not last year with Putin's horrible invasion of Ukraine, but started actually 8 years ago, when unfortunately the United States played an unacceptable role in helping to overthrow a government in Ukraine and to press for an irresponsible enlargement of NATO right up to Russia's border, which Russian leaders had made absolutely clear was a move beyond a red line, and an understandable red line. There was no reason to push NATO enlargement eastward, 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 right to Ukraine and Georgia, as the United States proposed in 2008 and continues to pursue until this day. In my view, we could achieve a peaceful, negotiated outcome in Ukraine based on a vision of mutual security. Of course, Ukraine's security needs to be protected and preserved, but also Russia has real security interests that are threatened by NATO enlargement to Ukraine and to Georgia, with an aim of surrounding Russia in the Black Sea region, with Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Georgia surrounding Russia in what has been Russia's naval base since 1783. We should have a lot more sense, a lot more prudence, a lot more self-restraint. And President Putin said that repeatedly in 2007 at the Munich Security Conference, in 2008 at the NATO-Russia conference in Bucharest, just after NATO announced that Ukraine and Georgia would become members. Putin said that in 2014. upon the overthrow of Yanukovych. Putin said that in 2021, saying to President Biden, stop the enlargement. You are threatening us directly. Unfortunately, the United States has not heard this. Unfortunately, we have a proxy war between the US and Russia, and it continues to escalate, and Ukraine continues to suffer tragic and horrific consequences of death and destruction as the US pushes its military alliance and Russia says no under no account. So, International Peace Committee, there is a basis for peace. The basis for peace is that the United States says NATO will not enlarge to Ukraine and to Georgia, and Russia says we go home, and we allow Ukraine to be safe as a neutral country with international security guarantees, and we deal with the difficult issues of Crimea and the Donbass over time. They won't be settled immediately, but we stop the war, stop the bloodshed, stop the proxy war between the US and Russia over NATO enlargement, recognize the OSCE commitment to common security and common solutions. I'm in Beijing, and I've been listening to the Premier of China and to the Foreign Minister of China just today, both speaking about the need for peace in Ukraine and a peace which respects the security interests of all countries. And this is very promising. I believe that China aims, of course, seriously and honestly to help promote a peaceful and rapid end to this war. I know from my discussions with leaders in many other countries, in Brazil and elsewhere, that countries all over the world want to enable Ukraine and to Russia to stop the direct fighting, but especially to have the US and Russia find a modus operandi in which the security interests of all countries are respected. The International Peace Committee understands this entirely. You've been calling for a peaceful common home in Europe. You've been saying that peace, not war, is the way to security. We really need to help the governments in Europe and the United States hear the message right now that there is a way out of this escalating disaster, and it involves prudence and restraint by the NATO countries. It requires withdrawal of troops by Russia. It requires the goodwill of nations around the world, which I know can be found, of China and Brazil and India and South Africa and Indonesia, and Turkey, and many, many, many other countries that all have the view that this war needs to stop. So thank you very much. Let's work together. I'm so grateful for the 2015 prize that you bestowed upon me. I truly cherish that prize. I truly profoundly admire the work that the International Peace Committee does. And please count on me to work shoulder to shoulder together with you. We need peace. We can achieve peace. And your efforts are indispensable towards that vital objective. Thank you very much. And again, warm greetings from Beijing. And I look forward to seeing many of you in person, I hope in the very near future. All thanks to you, and best wishes on your meeting.